Welcome to Free Media. I'm Amber Duke.
And I'm Robby Soave. Well, notoriously accurate Democratic strategist James Carville, please note my tone of sarcasm, told News Nation's Chris Cuomo that Elon Musk would turn out Democrats more than Barack Obama did. This after a few angry town hallers in red districts yelled at their GOP representative over DOGE. Let's watch.
Are these organic town halls. These are not being organized by Democratic interest groups. These are not being organized by the DNC. These are just people coming up and saying, we don't like this at all. And you're seeing it in as you point out, very, very smart in Georgia, in Wisconsin, in Oregon. I saw something even in Idaho. You know, when you're starting to lose Idaho, you got some problems. So I think we just have to play possum for a little while, just let them keep coming. And Musk will turn out, if they keep him, will be the greatest generator, let me say this very specifically, the greatest generator of Democratic turnout ever, more than Barack Obama. Musk will turn out more Democrats than Obama.
But this runs counter to recent polling from the February Harvard Cap/Harris survey that shows DOGE and its mission are actually wildly popular among the American people.
So James Carville, I think, sometimes has some insightful things to say in terms of pushing the Democratic Party away from wokeness and identity politics and some of the more unpopular cultural positions of the left. This one was one of the times where I was more like, okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. Because it could end up being the case someday that Elon Musk ends up being unpopular with or on the right or has some falling out with Trump. We don't know. It's very early in this administration, but as of now, that's not what the evidence points to. This new poll from HarrisX shows Elon is becoming a less broadly popular figure as he becomes a more explicitly conservative political figure. That's just naturally what's going to happen. But Trump's favorability rating is good compared to where he was the last time he was inaugurated as president. And then the policies that he's pursuing were pretty popular, according to this poll. Most of his major policies, the only one that was not popular in this poll was the renaming of the Gulf of Mexico. But the rest of them had majority support.
Yeah, he's, I think, plus 10 on his approval rating. And then on the question of eliminating government fraud, waste, and abuse, 76% of Americans support that. Majority of Americans support the idea of the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, coming in and helping to clean out some of the agencies. And he's also wrong, by the way, on his assertion that these individuals who are showing up at red state or red district town halls are not organized by the left. The Washington Free Beacon actually put out a report this morning, I believe, or yesterday rather, indicating that George Soros-funded groups like Move On and Indivisible were putting out a call to action to its supporters and giving them information about how they can show up at town halls and bring the fight directly to Elon Musk and DOGE. In one case, They found out that one of the individuals who went viral for speaking up at one of these meetings was a field organizer for Pete Buttigieg during his 2020 Democratic primary campaign. So I'm afraid he spoke a little bit out of turn on that one.
Amber, I think the rule is when someone shows up to a town hall and they are on the side of my political enemies, then it is astroturfed and fake. And when they show up in support of a cause that I support, then it is sincere grassroots energy.
That's
just
right.
A rising up popular people-related thing. That's how it works.
Yes, those are the rules.
Those are the rules.
In James Carville world. I mean, I agree with you that there are times where I'm like, okay, he kind of gets it. He realizes that identity politics and woke are stupid. But then you hear him also sort of contradict himself, saying that he doesn't care that Trump signed this executive order, defending women's sports, that it's the fascism that's the problem. And he always goes all in on this idea that Trump is this huge threat to democracy, which the voters soundly rejected according to exit polling in this past election. So it's like he's 10% more of the way there to getting it than most of the Democratic Party, but still pretty far away.
Yeah, I don't think inspire greater turnout than Barack Obama, a once-in-a-generation talent on the Democratic side for, inspiring people and winning over independent voters or whatever, seems unlikely to be eclipsed by just a kind of dislike of Elon Musk that might be forming among certain people. And again, the people who are probably becoming most irritated with Elon Musk at this point are just liberal journalists who are still on Twitter, which is becoming mostly a right-wing space. A lot of them have left for Blue Sky. But I don't even know what level of awareness of the things Elon Musk is doing, how much that has permeated down to more offline people at this point.
Yeah, and Carville has also been saying that the Democrats just need to wait 30 days because Trump's approval rating is going to plummet. And this was literally a day or two before this Harvard Harris X poll came out, showing that he was still well above 57% approval rating. So he was under this impression that Trump's approval rating from the first month of his second term was going to collapse greatly and continue to free fall over the next 30 days. And that just hasn't happened. Yeah. So I don't know where he's getting that from. I think he was actually citing a small left-wing funded poll that showed Trump below 50%, but obviously the Harvard Harris X poll's pretty well-respected pollster, certainly doesn't skew conservative, and Trump's still at 57%.
And look, I'm totally open to the argument that Trump is going to overreach, or Elon's going to overreach, or so like the Gulf of Mexico thing I think is pretty silly, or there'd be other silly things that annoy people. But I just don't think the Democratic Party is, how should I put this, at all set up to capitalize on the overreach that is probably pretty natural to occur when either side wins such a big election and acquires so much immediate political power and tries to put it into practice that engenders a backlash. The Democratic Party right now has no leader. They have no plan or direction. They're torn in so many different directions, and the leaders they have are so old and so out of touch and so just kind of playing a wait-and-see game. It's remarkable, really. There's not a lot of energy in the streets. There's not organizing going on. Their media system is in disarray. They have no natural leader. They're not going to have a contest to decide a new de facto leader until at least the midterms. They're in bad shape.
Yeah, and they keep misidentifying the problem, too, by saying it's a messaging problem. Actually, no, it's a policy problem, yes, because the message flows from the policies. So you can't have bad policies and then just message them better and expect that people are going to not see through the obvious BS. You have to come up with better policies, and then you would naturally have a more appealing message.
Yeah, like if their message is that, we don't like whatever the tariff policy, or that's going to make things more expensive. I'm amenable to that, but of course Biden was in favor of all sorts of tariffs too, and the economy was out of whack under his rule. If the criticism is we're being soft or weakening toward Russia, which I don't even agree with that, but the whole world came under greater chaos under Biden, and there was no plan there was just a plan to keep giving them money without any ability to solve the conflict. So pivot from Biden. So say, that was bad, and here's what we're doing differently. But they're incapable of doing that because too many of his surrogates are still in positions of influence at least in Democratic media, if not the actual party at this point. So they are still a little bit screwed. We're going to be talking about that. More to come on Free Media. Stay with us.